What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing a playoffs prediction video. Of course, there's going to be dislikes. There's going to be people skipping around the videos. I just want to see the end. Well, click to the end. Just know I dislike you slightly more than the next person. I still like you for clicking, but I also just like and subscribe, and that's how you pay me. Just do that in general, even if you watch the whole video. Enough of that. Of course, we know pretty much everything. We know the draft picks for, the first 20. We know, who's going to play who, where they're going to play, why they're going to, we know why they're going to play no matter what. But first things first, Bengals with the first overall pick. That could be interesting. Hopefully Detroit does not get Chase Young. I don't know how that would happen, but you just don't know with the Bengals and Redskins. I don't trust them, okay? They might do a thing, assuming he even enters the draft, but let's be honest. Anyways, let's talk about the winners of the weekend, the playoff teams. And I say that lightly because there was a couple of losers, and none bigger than the Patriots, obviously. Did they play the worst they've ever played? No, but they definitely should have won at home. Of course, everyone wants to give Brady insane credit. He's got to throw to linebacker. Mate, he missed the throw. The guy freaking adjusted to it midair, slipped off a tackle, and ran it for 40. Calm yourself, okay? Brady and Rodgers were not good this weekend, and they've been pretty rough all season. However, they both lead their teams into the postseason. Enough of those teams. It's not like that's my prediction for the Super Bowl. It could be. Enough of this crap talk. Let's just get right on to it. Of course, let's start off with the Patriots and the Titans. The Titans running the ball as well as pretty much anyone at this point in time. Offensive line is pretty decently dependable. Defense has got some young faces. We know that Titans team pretty well. They have a very good chance. I honestly do. I think they have a good chance. Tannehill is playing pretty safe. He's making some pretty decent throws, and at his age, he's running pretty damn well. Derrick Henry might be my favorite running back to watch in the NFL right now. Is that a good thing? Yeah. But it's because I like to see someone die when they contact someone. Derrick Henry looks like a really good running back. He looks hard to tackle, and boy, does he look fast. So I think if they can run the ball well, which obviously that's kind of the whole, idea for most teams to do, the Titans could pull one over on the Patriots. Of course, I still think Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Obviously, he's missed some throws you're used to seeing from him, but the majority of it is just guys not getting open. I know the pain of that as a Packers fan. Guys just not getting open. Some guys dropping the ball, not being where they're supposed to be. Tom Brady is still Tom Brady, and I don't care if they made it as the 6th seed. It's just not a team you want to see in the postseason. So I will give them the win over Tennessee. However, I could easily see Tennessee winning that game. And let's just continue on to the AFC. Why not? You have the Texans versus the Bills. Of course, the Bills lost 7-13 to the Jets. I don't care if you had every single starter and then the second stringers out. You should not lose to the Jets. I'm just saying, you should not lose to the Jets. I don't believe in the Bills' offense at all. I think they can do it. I think they can win. I just don't believe they will. Houston, I think receiving talent is there because obviously you got Hopkins, Fuller. Is Fuller? I don't know why. I have a feeling Will Fuller's hurt. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Is he hurt? Yeah, wait, Deshaun Watson and Hopkins were questionable? I thought they just benched him. Yikes. Yikers. Speaking of that game, though, I love that AJ McCarron flip. And no, it didn't matter. It was before halftime. It was super sweet, but obviously it didn't matter anyways. But yeah, Will Fuller is injured. I don't know why I do that. Kenny Stills. I mean, they got a decent receiving group if they can get healthy, and I think they'll have just enough time to do so. I think even if all their big names were out, they'd have a decent chance of winning. So obviously, Texans, I'm going to give them the win. I don't know. Should I do scores? I'll do 23-17 over the Bills. The Patriots win 31-27 over the Titans. Now let's move to the NFC side. I do not believe in Seattle at all. I know they've had some injuries, but overall, the last 5 weeks, I just don't think they've looked good. There's only 2 players on that team that I depend on and I trust. It's Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson, and even Bobby has been getting exposed a little bit lately. But those are the only 2 players. I don't trust anyone else. I think Metcalf has had a pretty decent season, and he's looked like he's made a lot of effort. So you have that. Tyler Lockett, I think, is a good player. I just don't know if I trust anyone else on that roster. Offensive line has looked okay at times, and then, of course, it's looked like Seattle's offensive line at times. Marshawn Lynch is what we thought he would be. He would be that guy that maybe can burst a few, maybe run through a few dudes. That dive for the touchdown was kind of cool. I think Hollister has had a really good season, too. Unfortunately, comes up short. I'm a Packers fan, as I've said it a few times. Hollister just, I don't know, man. Gain 30 pounds and just take a hit. I don't know. he did what he could. I just think that drive, some of the play calling was not up to par. I know the 49ers defense can get after the quarterback, and that was a huge factor most of the game. But still, I don't believe in Seattle at all, and I'm going to give Philadelphia the quote-unquote upset, because obviously they have the bye, but it's the classic, almost every single season you see it where, why does the team with a lower record get a home game? It makes sense to me. I know it's kind of stupid, but just ignore the few times where somebody has a much worse record than the next team. At least Philadelphia pulled it out decently in a 9-7. Not bad. I will say about the Philadelphia Eagles, I like their offensive line play for the most part. The biggest thing I like is their running backs. I don't understand how they're giving so much effort. I know effort seems so easy. It's like, just try, dude. What do you like? Just try. But Boston Scott, a guy that gets tossed around franchises across Madden every single year, no matter who you are, look at him go. I mean, he's tiny, but you would have thought he had Marshawn Lynch inside of him. The man ran through a few people, slipped away. He's obviously fast. Miles Sanders, tons of effort as well. Offensive line played pretty damn well. Carson Wentz, I think, is definitely good enough to carry the team. But of course, the receivers, I think the two tight ends are their biggest threats by far. It's not even close. Receivers, I like the fact that they're using a lot of a lot of different guys throughout the game. However, is that a viable option? I know Nelson Aguilar was hurt, but is it a viable option to have so many different names come in and out? Once again, as a Packers fan, I see that a lot as well. I don't know if it's viable because you just don't have that timing down with every single guy in your roster. But I think the Eagles are going to beat the Seahawks 20. I'm trying to make these numbers realistic. 29-24. I think you get 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Wait, no, not 29. 30-21. There we go. 30-24. There we go. Philadelphia wins 30-24. They are at home, so that helps. And honestly, in this case, yeah, number 1 seed is so good. It's so good. But Saints versus Minnesota. I don't trust the Vikings at all either. However, Dalvin Cook completely changes that team. It's going to be night and day. It really is. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Saints. But when the Saints have to go on the road, that's where it's really going to get interesting. I think the Saints are going to be unfortunate. I'm trying to think of what's happening here. Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks having to go against the Saints. But the Saints, I think, are going to win over the Vikings 34-20. 34-24. We're going to give a couple of 24s here. 34-24 Saints over the Vikings. Now we move on. This is a challenge. Now you got San Francisco versus Philadelphia. The offensive line play has been decent for the Eagles at times, but I think the Niners are going to swarm the Eagles. I think Wentz is going to be under pressure all game long. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball at all. I will say, though, I think Philadelphia's defense is going to stand up pretty well against the Niners trying to run the ball. I like to see Mostert finally get some credit. I don't know if there was there was a benching injury, what's the story, but they've got a talented backfield, probably the most talented in the NFL, considering every single one of those guys can lead the pack if he has to. So it's going to be hard to stop. But looking at the NFC side, I'd say the Eagles are probably the most equipped to deal with it just because their front is pretty damn solid. The only other team would be the Niners, and they're not going to play their own their offense. I think the Niners have just enough receiving talent to get the job done in the passing game. Can they beat a team like the Packers or Saints on offense? I'm not sure. We'll get to that, when we get to it. But I'm going to give the Niners the win over Philadelphia I don't know if it's going to be that high of a scoring game. I'd say 27-21. 27-21 Niners over the Eagles. And we're going to finish with the NFC side, Packers versus Saints. Besides the Seahawks, right now there is no worse team that I could think of than the Packers at being consistent. I don't trust us at all. Rodgers has had one of his worst games I've ever seen from him. It's so weird seeing a guy overthrow a player by 1 yard exactly every time. It's so peculiar. Overall, I don't trust the Packers offense in general. Quarterback play has been a little rough. Outside of Devontae, you have pretty bad receivers. Lazard, he's had his moments, but he has got hands issues. I know he had that insane catch, but you could see a lot of his catches turn into bobbled plays. Even the Detroit one, the huge one, he almost completely dropped it. It wasn't this week. It was earlier in the season, but I don't trust the Packers offense. However, the defense, even though it was a little suspect, and there was a lot of times where David Blau, even though I want to call him Blow, missed a lot of throws that should have been there, should have been first downs. For the most part, the Packers defense can completely change. It can completely shock you. The Saints offensive line is definitely not one that's going to be giving up as much pressure as the Smith brothers have had throughout the year. I just don't think the Packers match up well. I think it's going to come down to Minnesota coming up with an upset, but I don't see it. I just think Kamara is a huge, way too big of a matchup against Blake Martinez as well. See Kamara scoring several touchdowns. Drew Brees, even in whatever weather they're going to face, is probably going to play pretty decent. I know he's not great on the road in the playoffs, but Saints win a 31-20 over the Packers. Please be wrong me. I hate being right all the time, okay? And now what do we have? Baltimore versus the Texans. I would honestly, if I was Baltimore, I'd rather play the Patriots. It's crazy, but we'll go with the other game first. Kansas City versus the Patriots. I think Kansas City's defense regressed a little bit last week, but overall, I think they are a good defense still, which is crazy to say. Coming into the league, coming into the year, you would think, hey, they're not super hot, but overall, I'm actually starting to believe in them. I think their pass rush is getting better and better. I don't know how they're doing it. They're just getting super good. Chris Jones is potentially the best pure DT in the league right now. He's absolutely insane. I don't know if you want to call Donald a pure DT. Fletcher Cox had a pretty good week, but I don't know if you called Aaron Donald probably moves around quite a bit, I would say. But Chris Jones on the inside, he just throws people around, does what he wants. And then linebacker play is iffy. And then you got Tyrann Mathieu closing, making up for a lot of the secondary issues. Will I say they're the best defense in the playoffs right now? No. But they definitely have enough to put a ton of pressure on the Patriots. The Patriots' run game, I think, is what's going to have to carry them in the game, which is 50-50. I don't know if I trust it. Tom Brady, once again, I think, like I said, I think he's still got it. I just think the receiving play has been a little off. I think Edelman is going to have a big game. I really do. However, I still see the Chiefs winning a game. If Mahomes is on 90% Mahomes, they're going to win. There was a couple of plays where, if there was some better effort from the Chargers, we could have had a completely different game. That Damian Williams touchdown is unacceptable. You play to the whistle. You don't stand around Denzel Perriman or who is the corner, Michael Davis. You don't sit around and wait. You go after him. Maybe don't jump on the pile, but at least get within the range where, if he does slip away, you got him. Plays like that, I just don't see the Patriots defense being that, undisciplined and allowing. So Chiefs' big play margin might not be as big as you would expect them to normally have. It's just that offense. The Chiefs have so much firepower, and I don't see a great running game for them, but passing, they're probably going to have almost anything they want. Chiefs win. How much do I want to give the Chiefs on a Patriots defense? I'm going to give them 30... God, do we really want to just keep going to 31? 31-27 Chiefs. Baltimore versus the Texans. I think Baltimore has got one of the most complete teams. They don't even feel like they have to pass the ball. I'm pretty sure they broke a rushing record as well. They didn't look completely clean against the Steelers. I know there was some benchings, but they did enough. And I don't know if Houston's gonna. I don't really believe in the Houston. I think the Texans, they could be one of those sneaky teams, because honestly, just every team besides maybe the Titans, I know a bit about, and it's just okay, I know what we're dealing with. And then Houston is I keep forgetting Houston. Oh, yeah, Houston. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout, honestly. I do. It's kind of crazy to think, but Baltimore, I think Lamar is going to have to throw a ton. I don't know. Yeah, I think Houston's going to have a decent time stopping the Baltimore rushing attack. I don't know about Lamar, but pure running backs, I don't think they're going to have a great game. But once again, if Lamar goes off, it starts to open that up for those guys. I'm still going to say, maybe we're going a little predictable here for the most part, but Baltimore wins. I think they're going to put up some points. 37-31 over the Texans. Now I'm trying to keep a track of who we got. So we have the 1, the 2, the 1, the 3. I think this is going to be a good one. Baltimore versus Kansas City is going to be so good. I'm going to go with the other side. 49ers versus Saints. 49ers, I think, are going to have a good running game. They run ball well. Passing, I think they're actually going to struggle a little bit. I know Marshawn Lattimore's regressed a bit for the Saints, and safety plays okay with Marcus, but overall that secondary isn't the most dependable, and the front, it's not great outside of Cameron Jordan. I will say the Saints have played really well despite the names. Maybe a little bit of up-and-coming linebacker play. Overall, I think the Niners are going to run the ball well and pass the ball well, but I think the Saints, they're going to have a game. I think, once again, the Niners are probably the most complete team in the entire NFL, but I'm going to give the Saints the win. I think it's going to be a semi-low-scoring game. I think, for the playoffs, I think it's going to be, I'm trying to think. I think it's going to be 26-20. I think there's going to be a missed extra point from the Saints, but they're going to win 26-20. And then on the other side, Baltimore versus Kansas City. Of course, the tale of the two quarterbacks that are taking over the league. The Chiefs' offensive firepower, I don't know if Baltimore can keep up with that speed. But at the same time, can Kansas City stop that rushing attack? I don't know. You look at the AFC side, I know the Titans can run the ball pretty well, but there's not a whole lot of teams that can run well. So, it's Baltimore, really the best rushing team by far. And Baltimore, once again, like the Niners, aren't going to play their own defense. So, you get them into a game where they're going to have to pass. The secondary for Baltimore is pretty decent. It's going to be a close one. I don't know. I like Kansas City's offense more, but I think Baltimore's a little more complete. It's really going to come down, can you stop Lamar's legs? I'm going to give Mahomes a Super Bowl trip against the Saints, a 34-31 victory, one of the greatest championship games we've ever witnessed. And here we are to the big game, the Saints versus the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs would smoke their defense, but can the Chiefs stop that rushing attack, the Kamara receiving game? I don't know if they have the linebacking play to do it. This is a close one, man. I'm seeing a 30-27 victory. Oh, who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? In favor of the Saints. Drew Brees retires on top. I don't even know if that's on his radar right now, but it could be a spur-of-the-moment retirement on top of his game. That is the playoff prediction from yours truly. I think it was pretty good. I put a lot of in-depth into it. I probably should have wrote something down so I wasn't just coming off the fly at all times. But I think we hit on most points. Maybe I was off base on a few teams. I'm sorry, I don't have time to watch every single team play every single game this season. I try to catch some of the highlights of the big games, try to catch some of the lowlights of the big games. But overall, I think this is a pretty good decision. Once again, I think there could be upsets across the board. The Packers could easily make the playoffs. They have the most potential out of the teams that I don't think anyone really necessarily believes in. Maybe the Vikings are right there with them. And you never know. I mean, it could be a Philadelphia-Tennessee Super Bowl for all we know. But that's my predictions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you didn't like it and, if you're like, hey, you're completely wrong, I'm going to dislike because, everyone needs to be perfect in life, go ahead, like the video if you did like it, though. Subscribe if you're new. Do tons of Madden stuff. And if you guys, this gets really good feedback, maybe we'll do more NFL stuff. I would love to talk NFL every week with you guys. It's just the views aren't really there, so I don't think it's worth putting time into if you guys aren't really interested. Anyways, my voice is about to disappear. I'm talking straight for like 20-some minutes. Hope you guys come back for the next video. But until next video, see ya!